हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं आरजे राजीव, यहाँ वॉशिंगटन डीसी के सुनो ऑडियो स्टूडियो से। और आज मेरे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं मेरे बहुत ही अच्छे दोस्त, साथी, फिल्म फ्रेटर्निटी के लोग जिनके साथ मैंने काम किया है कुछ पिछले सालों में। और जो अभी डीसी सैफ कंक्लूड हुआ है यहाँ वॉशिंगटन डीसी में, they are the award winners from that film festival. So I wanted to get them onto this platform, talk to them about their experiences, congratulate them for their achievements, their hard work, which was very well recognized during the DC South Asian Film Festival. So please welcome today Shishir ji from Mumbai. Shishir ji, namaste. कैसे हैं आप?
मैं अच्छा हूँ राजीव, थैंक यू सो मच।
Or Sangeeta Agrawal from Bethesda, Maryland, and Sri Mirajkar from Virginia joining us here on this platform. अगल बगल ही रहते हैं, परंतु श्री और संगीता से हमारी मुलाकात आजकल बहुत ज्यादा स्क्रीन्स पे होती है, इन पर्सन ज्यादा मुलाकात नहीं हो पाती है। तो मुंबई भी उतना ही दूर है जितना बेथेस्डा दूर है या वर्जीनिया दूर है। तो सबसे पहले कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस टू ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस। शिशिर शर्मा जी को मेरे दद्दू मूवी के लिए बेस्ट एक्टर का अवार्ड मिला था फॉर द शॉर्ट फिल्म कैटेगरी। और उसके जो मेकर हैं, प्रोड्यूसर डायरेक्टर श्री मिराजकर, सो कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस टू यू आल्सो श्री फॉर द अवार्ड विनिंग मूवी ऑफ
Thank you,
मेरे
thank you.
दद्दू. So we'll talk about that. And Sangeeta Agarwal was awarded with the award for the jury mention for her movie Ye Sham Mastani under the mobile film category. So congratulations, Sangeeta.
Thank you and congrats to you too, Rajiv. You are a producer and actor in Ye Sham Mastani.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll take the accolades also a little bit. तो आज की जो बातें हैं वो it all leads commonly to Shishir Sharma ji, because Shishir Sharma ji is common part to Ye Sham Mastani as well as मेरे दद्दू. और इससे पहले कि हम फिल्मों के बारे में बातें करें, एक छोटी सी जर्नी जो हमारी है शिशिर शर्मा जी के साथ, ये कोविड टाइम्स पे जाती है। जब हम लोगों ने कोविड टाइम्स में शिशिर जी से बातें शुरू की थी कि व्हाट्स द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ कोविड ऑन द फिल्म इंडस्ट्री, और वहां से एक छोटा सा हमारा सफर शुरू हुआ उनके साथ। हमने यहाँ पे वॉशिंगटन डीसी के लोगों को थिएटर एंथुसियास्ट को लेके थिएटर वर्कशॉप्स किए, और उसमें से संगीता अग्रवाल जी भी थी हमारे साथ जुड़ी हुई, श्री मिराजकर जी भी थे हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए। और फिर बनते बनते ख्याल आते गए, आइडियाज आते गए, फिल्में बनाने का क्रिएटिव माइंड चलता रहा। और आई डोंट नो हाउ टू से थैंक यू शिशिर जी, आपका दिल, आप you are a great person. We have so much from you, and we are all blessed that we got opportunity to work with you in multiple movies.
Thank you so much, Rajiv, for that introduction. But really, I'm blessed to have a group of 17 that we started off with, and thank you to you, in fact, to have brought everyone together. And your perseverance paid off, and paid off how? Met two of the finest people here, Sangeeta and Sri, with whom I have done a film completely different from the other, and also with Prerna, did a film when she came down to India. So yes, there are three films that I've done with three lovely human beings. But the crux of the matter is, I think we took a lot from each other. I think we bounced a lot of ideas. Sangeeta, of course, went through a 4 year uh, difficult time with Ye Sham Mastani. And then, of course, came the idea. And Rajiv, I think, prompted that idea through Sangeeta to approach me for that character. And I had absolutely no hesitation in saying yes to that character, because it was a very different kind of a persona that I was portraying. A love story over a mobile phone, and speaking those lines as truthfully as my conscience would allow me to do so. And of course, nobody being there in person, Sangeeta wasn't there, so I had to imagine Sangeeta there to be my lover on the other side. But yes, I think it was a great learning experience as to how one can actually go through with with lines without the lines being spoken. And that, I think, gave me a huge confidence and impetus to do it well. And yes, I think it turned out extremely well. It's very short, very sweet love story, which thanks to Sangeeta having, I think she's a perfectionist. I'm not saying this because she's there. I saw it in the work that she has done uh, relentlessly every night, sitting late up in the night, editing the whole film, and that too, all by herself over a telephonic conversation with the editor, which is extremely difficult because you need to try and explain everything to the editor. I don't know whether the editor will get it or not get it tomorrow, what the situation would be, and how he would actually have read what I have said. But yes, thank you so very much, Sangeeta, for even thinking about uh, casting me for that particular character, and I enjoyed it completely. More than me, I think Lata, my wife, enjoyed it thoroughly, and very seldom that she sees me in that kind of light. So I think she enjoyed it extremely well. And of course, thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, everyone, for just being there and you know and believing in me and me believing in all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways, and a lot of people are saying congratulations and sending comments and etc. But due to Facebook privacy, maybe your names are not coming up. So I would really appreciate if you just put the name also next to your comments. We'll know exactly who is commenting. I know Prerna had commented. So hi, Prerna, nice to see you that you're watching us. And another common thread that we have with our theater enthusiasts and also the filmmakers. And each of the movie that was shot, like Yesha Mastani and Mere Daddu, completely different genre of movies, different ways of making those movies. And I'm going to start with Sangeeta first. Yesha Mastani, which was done completely virtually. All characters did their part without seeing that other person they were interacting with in front of them. So imagination going through. And when you see the movie, you'll realize that you cannot even make out that the people are not front of each other or not interacting directly. And all kudos goes to Sangeeta for managing that direction, being able to tell the expressions how they need to come out. I know my experience of working hours and hours on what just few lines of signing off at the end. And as Shishirji said, Sangeeta is a perfectionist and she will never let you go till she got what she really wanted out of it. And whether either be Shishirji or Rajiv or the editor or the music person or the people who were writing the poem or orating the poem, each one of them got their flavor of experience of working with Sangeeta and her perfection. So, Sangeeta, kudos to you for bringing this all together. So, um, people have heard about the story, etc. But one thing that I would like to hear from you for all our listeners is after you got the story going and you started to think about the dialogues, because dialogues are very impactful in that short 15 minutes of that conversations. Each line is meaningful. How did you go about doing that, writing that, and where was it really flowing from within you to write those lines?
So I love writing dialogues. I think in script writing, I think perhaps that is my strength. Uh, I'm actor first and filmmaker second. So I mainly make films to put show women in interesting roles, not as the wife of someone, as the mother of someone, but who she is herself. I feel like I felt underrepresented in film, a middle-aged woman my age, which is what prompted me to make many of the films that I have. About the dialogue writing, I really, in a short film format, to pack a lot in that short period of time and to have a satisfying experience for the viewer where you feel you have seen a complete story, I think is a huge challenge. And also sort of uh, the particular mastery of that format of storytelling is in a way harder than telling a feature. So I find that to be a huge challenge. uh, I like uh, at the end of my film for people to feel like they know the characters. So it's very important to me, like at the end of it, they should feel like they have met all the characters and they fully understand who these people are. And so that all has to come into the dialogue, but it doesn't have, it's very important that it doesn't feel like spoon feeding. So, in a very casual way, one has to reveal who these people are, what are their thoughts, what are their, what are their concerns in life, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and very lightly peppered through the script. You have to uh, bring that out so that the end of the film, you really feel like you have met these characters, you understand who they are, their motivations, why the film why the story took the trajectory that it did, and why this end was the only way it could end.
Yeah.
So I think dialogue plays a very important part.
I
Yeah.
think
No,
I
it
will
was,
add to that is that yes, the dialogues are there, but then to speak those lines, you have to be really truthful to yourself.
Most certainly. So, with Shishirji, once Shishirji, Rajiv brought Shishirji on board, he heard the story, and he was immediately, said, "Okay, I love it," and that was a huge endorsement for us. And so that kind of energized us, and then it also gave me, in a way, my muse to write the character. So even as I was writing the dialogue, Shishirji, I really heard them coming out of your mouth. There was from the beginning, you were the only person that I ever considered for that character. So it actually became easier to write it because I had the visual on you, and I have known you enough through our workshops to know exactly how the lines would come out. So it helped me write your lines, it helped me write my lines, Rajiv's lines. The film was almost running in my head as I was writing it down. And then, of course, performance was such a challenge because you were in India, and Lata ji, your wife, has done a beautiful job shooting your parts. And then Rajiv and I shot each other's parts, and we had a couple of cinematographers at our end, Sanjeev Singhal, Leena Paul. And so it was a very small, team, and somehow we had to uh, like you said, make it authentic without having your co-actor in front of you. So for Rajiv also, it was, it's one thing when you're in your studio alone and speaking to yourself, but to have the camera on you and then to try and look like nobody is looking at you.
Yeah.
So, and we shot through the night, and Rajiv endlessly, as many takes as I wanted. He did not once show any sign of fatigue or any sign of just simply getting tired of saying "ek aur karte hain," and and then the result is in front of you. I think Shishirji, because of maybe we did a couple table reads, and then we kind of had the vibe, and you knew exactly what you were to do, and I. So when you watch the film, you will not be able to tell that these two people were not in the same
Correct.
space.
True.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a challenge for me in terms of spacing the lines so
Yes.
as to have your lines, fit in exactly between my lines and your lines. That
Yeah.
space was very very important. And my wife Lata also thought that it's quite a challenge to actually remember your lines and remember my lines
Yes.
and say those lines in a manner to see that your lines do not get disturbed, cut off
Yeah. So we
by.
we kind of edited it, fine tuned it in the edit. But yes, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of good comments are coming in. I just want to take few seconds. Of course, this is Chetna. Heartiest congratulations to this wonderful panel. Shishirji, it's so good to see you. And of course, these my dear friends and fellow thespians is from Chetna. Hi, Chetna. Thank you so much. And then Chitra, of course, who helped us with the poster for our movie. She said Sangeeta is a perfectionist. She wanted a particular blue color for the poster, and I was not able to come up with the blue she wanted. But Chitra, you came up with the whole design and the poster that became part of the movie. So you are an integral part, and everything did come together. And thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Chitra. Thank you, Chetna.
So moving forward, I'm going to shift the direction to Shri. So Shri, completely different structure, right? I'm sure that uh, maybe I'm taking this leap of faith, but I think that after our theater workshop, etc., your mind started to work and come up or solidify the story that you may have already thought about. and thought, yeah, this movie, I do see the Daddu in Shishir Sharma ji, and how I can go forward and bring my dream to reality. And I did get to watch that movie, Mere Daddu. Amazing job. You've done a great job with the movie. Congratulations, Shishirji. Your acting did deserve the award. Totally impressed. Arya was in the movie, and I'm going to bring Arya onto the screen soon. But Sri, so just tell us, when did you conceive this thought, and when did you decide that your Daddu is going to be Shishi Sharma ji?
Oh boy. So, Shishiji,
I
thank you
told
so
you I'll
much.
put you on the
And
spot.
yeah, of course you do. Despite saying that you won't. Um, so, यहाँ पे common kadi is of course Rajiv in terms of bringing us all together and getting me introduced to Shishiji as well. And I had written this, I would say at least 3 or 4 years back. And the story was there in my mind. The script was already written. And I didn't have the confidence, honestly, to say I can go to India and do this. So the setting and everything was India. I couldn't have done it over here. And the story was on the side for a little while, and I said, "यार अब India कौन जाएगा? इतनी हिम्मत नहीं है. कैसे करेंगे? I don't have the team. I don't have so many things." And during COVID, of course, we took this workshop. बड़ी हिम्मत करके राजीव से बात करने के बाद then I thought, okay, let me approach him because I did want somebody in India who could do this. And it just clicked that I think Shishirji would be the perfect person for this. And फिर हिम्मत करके ये स्टोरी मैंने शिशिर जी को सुनाई. वो भी बाहर बैठ के, मेरे को याद है मैं यार्ड में बैठा हुआ था बाहर. एंड आई सेड, शिशिर जी एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है, आप सुनेंगे? एंड राइट अवे ही सेड, हाँ हाँ श्री, जरूर, let's hear it. So I narrated the whole thing. I sent him the script. He was the first person who actually put a stamp on it to say, ये स्टोरी तो हमको बनानी चाहिए, बहुत अच्छी स्टोरी है, you should definitely take it out. And due to COVID and all, we just left it alone. And but later on, I think we kept in touch, we kept talking, and I think he gave me a lot of confidence. And I said, Shishir ji, इसमें तो दद्दू का रोल, I feel like you would be the best person to do it, and would you do it? And right away he agreed to do it. And I told him कि श्रेष्ठ जी इसके लिए तो दाढ़ी की ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. And this is the story is the setting of a grandfather and a grandchild in a landfill. And the backdrop, backstory, the bigger message here is environment and recycling. And that's something that is very close to my heart. And I think it's something that should be important for everybody. And so the story was born like that. And then Shishir ji said yes, and we started talking about it. एक महीने के लिए उन्होंने कोई और प्रोजेक्ट नहीं लिया. एंड ही सेड, ये वाली स्टोरी मैं ही करूँगा, अगर कोई और करेगा तो फिर मैं तुमसे गुस्सा हो जाऊँगा. तो फिर वहाँ से बात आगे बढ़ी. He was gracious enough to not take any other project, go to Dubai, stay with his daughter, and मुझे फोटो भेजते थे कि ये दाढ़ी ठीक है.
Wow,
So
wow.
अब इस फिल्म में he has a full beard and his look is so authentic, so authentic. And I'm very fortunate, Shishir ji, that you said yes, that you gave me the encouragement to do it. And finally I was also able to pull together a team. I went in November, I met with some people there. I had started the discussion, and then finally in May, June of this year, we shot the film. I was there shooting in a slum. I had a crew of about 23, 24 people, award-winning editors, award-winning cameraman, and I'm just blessed. I would never have thought that this project is going to go through, and so obviously very well deserved, Shishirji, the Best Actor award. And it was a wonderful experience. Arya is of course the grandson, and it's their story, and I think he has done a wonderful job as well. And that's how everything happened.
So I'm going to bring Arya to the screen, Sri,
So,
and
before you
there's a
bring Arya, I just like to say something. Yes, of course, Shri sent me the story. I read the script and all that. Yeah, I loved it. it was a challenge for any actor to come up with something like that. And to shoot in a slum is a different ball game altogether. And we are not exposed to that kind of environment. We're not exposed to that kind of life. We've never seen something like that before. I at least I haven't. Of course, slums are everywhere in India, but one hasn't gone in and sat in a jhopadi, a tin roof jhopadi. But before that, there was a lot of discussion that we'd like to shoot it in the month of Jan and so on and so forth. And then, of course, Gurudev, uh, who was in Mumbai, we spoke. We also spoke together with Sri, and then I decided that if you want me to grow a beard, then I need to be away for a month. That month is very crucial. And I had decided that if I have to go, I have to go in the month of May and shoot this film in June or July. So yeah, we I was there for 12 days in the month of July. We rehearsed for 3 days with Arya. Sri broke his head. I don't know how he's still actually alive. Uh, I thought he'd probably break his head against the wall and say, "To hell with this film. Let's just scrap it." But no, I think it was his perseverance and of course me being there. We also did a lot of rehearsals with Arya. Completely raw boy, not knowing a bit of acting. It was very difficult to try and bring him on the same page as both of us were. He was very good in cricket. So yeah, so I grew that beard, and yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, that's dedication. I did hear about that from Sri, and you going away to Dubai for a month to get into that look that Sri wanted. That dedication is amazing, Shishirji.
Thank God I had my daughter there. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and
For a
you know,
month, grow a beard. The only other place I can think of is Lonavala, where I have a house.
and honestly, it was a daunting task even before I had to prepare myself so much to say शिशि जी को डायरेक्ट करना है वहां जाके क्या होगा कैसे होगा क्या अरेंजमेंट मिलेगी मेरे
Yeah,
को वहां पे
I'm going to come to that, Sri. I'm going to come to that
okay.
for both you and Sangeeta. And Prerna is watching the show also, and she's saying that that's the common thread. He's so encouraging. I just put the comment here uh, to each of us about our films, and so gracious to work with us on our projects. And she's another person, Prerna. I know that you got to work with Shishiji also, and we're looking forward to seeing your work come to fruition and watch that. But she's absolutely right, Shishiji. You are so gracious, and even thinking and imagining to be able to work with you is a leap forward in our our confidence as such. So I will talk to both Sangeeta and Sri about that. But before that, I want to get Arya on the screen because he has been waiting. And आर्या बेटा मैं आपको जब तक आपके बोलने की बारी नहीं आएगी मैं आपको म्यूट पे रखूंगा ताकि आपकी बैकग्राउंड की वॉइस ना आए अम, एक सेकेंड so Sri, I'll give it to you to introduce Arya, the one of the protagonists in your movie Mere Daddu, and then we will talk to Arya, or you can talk to Arya directly and ask him a few questions as such.
Yes, 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 very much so. So आर्या बेटा तो आप अभी थोड़ी देर में कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे आपसे और आप बता सकते हैं आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा मेरे साथ और अपने दद्दू के साथ. So Arya is the grandson in this, and it's a story about him and his daddu, and so आखिर तक भी शिशिर जी ऑलमोस्ट आ गए थे बैंगलोर रिहर्सलें शुरू करने के लिए. 4 लड़कों को रिहर्सलें करने के बाद, सिखाने के बाद, हिंदी सिखाने के बाद, उनका एक्सेंट ठीक करने के बाद, couldn't find the right boy. And the boy that I had already finalized, who Shishirji already met him on the Zoom and everything else, brought him down from Mysore and all, it didn't work out because he couldn't play cricket. Not like आर्या. तो आर्या बहुत अच्छा क्रिकेट खेलता है, So fortunately, on the very last day, I had almost given up on the project, and so had Shishir ji. मैंने उनको बोल दिया था, देखिए मेरे को अभी एक्टर कोई मिल नहीं रहा. तो फाइनली ये लड़का हमें मिला. कहाँ पे मिले थे हम, आर्या?
एक सेकंड, मैं उसको अनम्यूट करता हूँ.
हाँ, नहीं अभी भी म्यूटेड है वो.
He's frozen, I think.
So anyway, Arya,
He's frozen. Yeah.
yeah, so he plays cricket and he was, हाँ आ गया वापस. आर्या सुन सकते हो? अरे यार ये
I think his screen is frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Internet.
So basically, I was, there's a park there, and I was walking that day. I had almost given it up, and I said, man, ये तो movie नहीं बन सकती. We were gonna call the crew and everybody off. And this boy, Arya, वहाँ पे वो चक्कर लगा रहा था, भाग रहा था वो. तो वो जब भाग रहा था तो मैंने उसको देखा कि उसकी टी शर्ट के पीछे लिखा हुआ है कपिल क्रिकेट एकेडमी. And so I ran up to him and I asked him, Beta, do you play cricket? He said, yes. And then I said, do you have anybody in your class, in your team who also speaks Hindi? कहता, अंकल मैं हिंदी बोलता हूँ. तो बस कहानी वहां से शुरू हुई. फिर इसके बाद काफी सारे रिहर्सलें करके. अरे तुम सुन सकते हो?
His screen is frozen.
His screen is frozen.
Chalo, anyway, so there were a lot of challenges I think Shishir ji and I faced, and with him उसको बेचारे को डांट के उसको मैंने कह दिया था कि स्कूल से तेरी छुट्टी है. And his dad had also agreed on him acting, and he's not a actor as such, and so we had to do a lot of work with him. But hats off to him. एक लाइन नहीं भूला वो सेट पे, और उसने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है. And I wish that we could hear from him as well.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate कि network के कारण वो उसकी network आ नहीं पा
So
रहा है.
I'll just message him. And ask him to get back. But I think him, and I owe it to my crew, of course. Gurudev being somebody who was the executive producer for this film, and also my production team here, who encouraged me to do this and saw the story through. So thanks to all of them.
So while you're connecting with Arya Sri,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Sangeeta the question that is common for both of you guys, which connects us to Shishir ji. What was your first thought when you started to direct Shishir ji? We got his modesty to work with us for sure, but you both wanted the best for your movie, and when you're working with someone at the level of Shishir ji, I'm sure you would be some part nervous somewhere on to say, how do I tell something different than what has been given and what you want for the movie, and how do you work with Shishir ji to get that output?
So I think because we had done the workshop with Shishir ji, we had got to know him pretty intimately for over a period of several weeks. So I had got to know sort of the approach that Shishir ji takes towards everybody, the level of respect that he gave us while we were students, his students, and the way he is so open to different ideas that everybody has. Just an extremely open mind. So I was confident that Shishir ji will allow me to realize my vision. At the same time, being in a director's shoes, and it really actually has nothing to do even with how big a name that you're working with. Just being in that position itself of being a director, of directing, it's a little intimidating. I hesitate, because there's a fine line. You are in a way the captain of the ship, but at the same time, you want to make sure everybody takes ownership of the project. They feel they are part of it, and they are an equal part of it, and that they don't feel like they are being told what to do. So it's a very fine line for a director to walk. That said, right from the very first time that we discussed the project itself, Shishirji made it very clear that who is, it, and this is where his generosity comes in. He said, Sangeeta, this is your vision. You tell me. You tell me. And when you get that from an actor, and Rajiv, you gave me that too, which is the same thing. You said, just tum batao, ye tum जो कहोगी वो होगा. तो
Mhm.
उससे एक आप थोड़ा सा आपकी जो झिझक होती है आप उसे छोड़ के आप you can actually tell. So the first read that we had, I gave Shishir ji ये वाले इसमें I think the अविनाश जो कैरेक्टर है वो याद तो कर रहा है लेकिन इस मूड में नहीं याद कर रहा है, वो इस मूड में याद कर रहा है. And instantly Shishir ji, in a half a second, he knew what it was and he completely changed it. And that is the mark of an actor, with Shishir ji's level of experience. It takes him a second to understand what the director is saying. That, okay, I was approaching it from this way, but her vision is this. Boom, he just gave you. So just a couple of table reads, and we had hit the nail on the head in terms of the character arc for Avinash and our mutual chemistry between us. So that's why when we did the shoot separately, it didn't matter because there was such a synergy, such an understanding of the script, of the characters, and what the other person wanted, that I think it just flowed.
Right, right,
You
right.
know,
And
it also, yes, there was a lot of familiarity. We went through 10 sessions while we were doing the workshop, and I think we got to know each other's weak points, strong points, whatever you may call it, because everybody has their weak points and strong points. And I think both of us, or all the three of us in separate capacities, understood each other perfectly well. But taking the ownership of a project does not come so easily to everyone. I say this out of experience. I say this only because I know there are certain projects that have just been done. There are certain projects that are very, very close to your heart. These two will remain very, 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 very close to my heart. Uh, Not because it's been done by Sangeeta and by Shri, but also the kind of uh, hardship, I would say, that we went through in shooting it separately. Sangeeta had her own hardships. Shri, of course, had numerous hardships coming his way, having to shoot this in person, in India, in a slum, in Bangalore, not knowing anything about how shooting is done in India. I thought he'd be taken for a ride. I don't know whether he was taken for a ride or not, but ultimately the film was made. Yeah, no. So I'm just trying to say that ownership of a film uh, does not come so easily to everyone. You have to understand the person, you have to understand the script, you have to understand your the crew and everyone, and see in a broader picture how it's going to not benefit, but how do you place yourself in that uh, picture? Which part of the frame are you going to be? Are you going to be on the left, right, center, sit down, wherever? So I thought Sangeeta was the perfect choice, since she had written the script, since she knew everything that was there, and it was all here in her head. Uh, she exactly knew what line, where, how to speak it, in what manner I should speak it, in what manner she should speak the line, in as opposed to or vis-a-vis reply to my lines. So it became a little kind of difficult because I was speaking the lines in a manner that I thought should be spoken as a listener on the radio, and this woman on the other side. But I didn't know whether I was on the right track or not. So that became kind of a challenge for me. And of course, when Sangeeta said it's perfectly all right, so I really heaved a sigh of relief and I said, yeah, well, thank God for that, because I was doing it completely out of not experience, because I've never had a telephonic relationship with anyone. It's always been in person.
This is being recorded.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
लता जी, लता जी देख रही हैं ये?
I think she's
लता
watching.
जी से ही हुआ था टेलीफोन.
Lata ji is
I think she's watching football, Japan and Croatia.
ah,
So,
okay. So,
so just trying to say that Sangeeta was bang on. I mean, she was on the ball right from the time she started writing this and even thought about the script. Leave alone me coming into the picture, but she knew exactly how to go about shooting this.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I
Yeah.
100% agree with you, Shishiji, because right from the first frame, I think my shots were the first shots that were shot by her, and the studio, the way it was set up, she had the vision of what the studio needs to look like. We tried the different rooms in the house for that thing, and she knew exactly the corner that she wanted, exactly the design she wanted, working with Chitra on the poster that she wanted. And as Sangeeta said, the number of shots that we gave, because at some time, like when I got tired, my thing was, Sangeeta, once we leave this place, there should not be even a fragment of doubt, that pigment of doubt, that ye aisa ho sakta tha. Let's try, make it. When you say yes, I got what I wanted, I didn't want to leave anything, any stone unturned. So
I
संगीता, and बुरा लगता है अगर वो नहीं करते, कहीं भी हम
हाँ,
कॉम्प्रोमाइज करते हैं,
बिल्कुल,
वो स्क्रीन पे
बिल्कुल,
दिखता,
बिल्कुल।
तो
हाँ,
लगता है यार वो थोड़ा देर और कॉफी पी के कर लेते तो अच्छा रहता।
एक बात मैं सब सुनने वालों को बताना चाहूँगी that this story ये शाम मस्तानी happened because of Rajiv. He's very humble. He doesn't, toot his own horn, but Rajiv is as much a part of the film as Shishirji and I are. Rajiv and I met at someone's house, and we thought that maybe we can do something together. And the original story was a completely different one. And I just literally looked at Rajiv and I said, I am getting a ready-made RJ character here, and this is pre-COVID. So I thought कि मुझे studio का access मिल जाएगा, तो हम एक बढ़िया सी location हमें मिल जाएगी. So we'll be able to really, make use of these things and make a very beautiful, visually rich film. And then COVID hit, so then we had to create this studio in Rajiv's basement. So then I started googling images. फिर हमने ये आप जो back के panels देख रहे हैं वो order करके फिर हमने वो सारा construct किया है उसको. And Rajiv had the mics and the panels. We really pulled this thing together. And Rajiv has been so devoted to this project, and has given such a lovely. I get so many people say, "Arey, ये RJ कौन है? He's done a really good job." So classic वो चीज जो रोल छोटा है लेकिन he leaves a mark. He leaves a mark. In fact, original story mein it was the romance between radio jockey and listener. So when Shishir ji came on board, I said, Rajiv, तुम्हारा रोल कट रहा है इसमें.
शिशिर जी, आपने मेरा रोमांस ले लिया।
Sorry, यार।
He said,
अगली फिल्म में मैं आरजे कर लूंगा, आप रोमांस कर लीजिएगा।
so but Rajiv was great. He said, you know what? We have a great story. Let's tell it. Don't worry about it. And he just stood by me like a rock. And what you see is like it's a
That's
beautiful project. We're about to put it online soon, so I hope to be able to
Yeah,
share
yeah.
it.
So it will be getting online very, very soon. We're working on it, and everyone who has not got to watch it, they'll get to watch it. It is a really sweet love story. People who have watched it have connected and said उनको कॉलेज की याद आ गई, पता नहीं किसने कहाँ कहाँ चिट्ठियां छुपाई हुई थी कॉलेज के दिनों में। तो
मैंने कोई चिट्ठी नहीं छुपाई थी यार कॉलेज के दिनों में, ये थोड़ी सी गड़बड़ हो गई। I should have been a lot more younger doing this role than doing it at the age of 16.
नहीं इसमें
no,
तो
no,
यहाँ कुछ
no.
और है. नहीं this is different. यंग की तो बहुत लोग कहानियां बनाते हैं, हमारी कहानी अलग है.
Hi, Pavitra. How are you? Another one of our great actress that Shishiji, I and Pavitra got to act together under
Lockdown.
Sunshine's movie, Lockdown Diaries. So, hi, Pavitra. Nice to see all my favorite people. So, I'm going to try Sri again. Arya को हम लोगों ने बैठा के रखा हुआ है. I hope we can get him.
I hope so too. I hope so too. And उससे पहले जो है, in terms of whatever had to be done in India, that was, I thought, the toughest thing for me, to think that I could do something in India. And I think it's a different experience, like Shishirji has said. And it's a huge learning experience, because you are the captain of the ship, and everybody's checking with you, from costumes to every little detail. For Shishirji also, I had a complete, clear vision of exactly what I wanted. And until we did that workshop, I wasn't even thinking that the film will ever get made. So it's just that when I saw Shishirji and when we worked through the workshop and the comfort level was there and he made us all feel very comfortable and me gave the confidence that he can do this role and he will do that role, that's when I said, okay, let's just go for it. So I think doing it in India is probably one of the challenges. Of course, there were many challenges. The best thing that happened, I think, was the storyboard. So anybody who makes a film ever, I would say, don't make it without a storyboard. The storyboard was almost 85% close to the set, the location, the look, everything was there in my storyboard. And when I showed Shishir the first time, I shared the storyboard with him as well. And everything, the vision is just laid out. Everything that I wanted in terms of props to costumes to the location and the look and feel that I wanted, everything was there. So Aslam's role, which is played by Arya, that was very clear
तो
to me
एक बार
what I
पूछ
want.
लें श्री आर्या को, is he there? We can listen.
हाँ, I
और
think he's on board. He's on board. We can bring him and
आर्या सुन सकते हैं बेटा?
थोड़ा
आर्या बेटा
लैग
हमें
है,
सुन सकते हो?
मेरे ख्याल टाइम लैग है थोड़ा.
हाँ
हाँ,
आर्या
time-
सुन रहे हो? सुनाई दे रहा है? उसको अनम्यूट कर दे.
अनम्यूट किया है, हाँ.
हाँ आर्या बोलो. सुनाई दे रहा है बेटा तुमको?
दो मुझे खाना दे.
Yeah, I don't know what is wrong with this connection.
I
It's
think
such,
it was-
such a shame that we
Yes,
can't
sir.
hear from him. He's got some wonderful things to say. He's a very chulbula person. He's a very active little kid, and we had so much trouble.
क्यों क्या खराबी है? मैं अपने दोस्तों के साथ रहता हूँ.
ए, तू इधर लाइन में बैठने का है.
अरे बेटा, ये बताओ कि आप एक्टर नहीं हो और आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या है जरा. आराम से बोलो क्योंकि हम सब सुनना चाहते हैं.
I think Sri, it will be a problem. तो तुम उनको फोन कर दो and maybe you can talk to about Arya's role and involvement because that's a very
हाँ.
very interesting story. और आर्या से ही सुन पाते तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है उसके एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में, पर लैग के कारण थोड़ा थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग होगा टेक्निकली.
हाँ नहीं तुम उसको म्यूट कर दो. बट he's just a wonderful kid and he took directions from me and from शिशिर जी so well. बहुत डांट खा करके उसने जो है ये रोल याद किया है. उसको रिटेंशन की प्रॉब्लम होती थी. He was so distracted with everything else. And so finally I was able to kind of get into his head and say, अगर तुम अपने भोपाल जाते हो, तुम्हारे वहाँ पे दादा हैं, कभी उनके साथ शैतानी करते हो? हाँ करता हूँ. क्या करते हैं वो? थप्पड़ मारते हैं तुमको? हाँ कभी कभी थप्पड़ मारते हैं. कैसे रोते हो? क्या होता है? और जब डांट पड़ती है तो हंसते हो? Oh, there is a scene in which Shishiji is throwing certain things at him and उसको डांट रहे हैं वो. तो वो डांटते हो. हाँ सुन रहे हो तुम आर्या?
सुन रहे हो?
आर्या तुम सुनते
Yes,
रहो,
sir.
हम तुम्हें देख रहे हैं.
हाँ तुम मुस्कुराते रहो, तुम हंसते रहो आर्या, तुम अच्छे लग रहे हो, हंसते
तो
हुए अच्छे लग रहे हो.
ऐसे ही मुस्कुराता रहता था वो. जब मैं उसको कुछ फेंकता था और चिल्लाता था, उस पर डांटता था, फिर भी हंसता रहता था वो. तो मैंने कहा तुम हंस क्यों रहे हो? तुम्हें गुस्सा नहीं आता? तुम्हें डर नहीं लग रहा क्या? फिर बाद में धीरे हाँ अब डर लग रहा है. जब शिशिर जी मेरे को अंकल जब आके मेरे को डांटते हैं तो मुझे डर लगना चाहिए. हमने कहा हाँ बस ऐसे ही डरो. और जब मैं तुम पे फेंकता हूँ तो तुम हंसते क्यों? तुम ऐसे करोगे ना, ऐसे करोगे. कैसे
पहले
करके
लगता था,
दिखाओ
अब
मुझे.
नहीं लगता.
क्या?
पहले लगता था, अब नहीं लगता.
अब नहीं लगता.
तो तुम्हें कैसा लगा एक्टिंग करके?
तो उसका डिले है, थोड़ा डिले है श्री.
I
That's
know.
okay. Yeah.
Anyway, I think he's just a delight to work with, although it was a serious, serious challenge. And, it was a challenge for Shishirji also. And I had to give
Challenge.
him
I
some.
mean, complete
I,
challenge because it's very difficult, and all of you being actors, it's extremely difficult to work with a boy, with a child, uh, who has absolutely no knowledge of what acting is all about. It's like asking somebody to play a sitar or somebody to play tabla, and you looking around के मैं मतलब उंगलियां कौन सी लूं क्या करूं वो ठुक 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 करते रहते हैं उसका क्या मतलब होता so I think it became a challenge but having said all that on the set this boy of course playfulness was there which he was getting a little upset and irritated about but that's besides the point but he delivered his lines to the T. There was not a word that was out of place, out of sync. He came in, threw the bag, the first shot, everything perfectly all right. I think I hadn't seen the film till I saw it yesterday, the complete film in the way Shri sent it to me. I didn't see him sitting at the nets. I hadn't seen that part of the film. But he sat there like, boy who wants to learn how cricket is being played. And so also the entire chemistry between me and him in the Jhopri, where he comes in, throws his bag. His whole attitude was bang on. I mean, we couldn't stop the shoot. He did not fumble, so there was no question of
he,
stopping the shoot.
and I used to tell
Yeah.
him, कि सब
So we just kept it on. And he got the confidence that yes, okay, fine. We did 2, 3 more takes. That's besides the point. But that's because we wanted to better the shot. But even when he was feeding me the roti and all that, he brought his voice down like any professional would because he sees me crying. And I
Yep.
think that was fantastic. I mean, these are a couple of points. Even Lata said, I mean, this guy has really delivered whatever he has done, he has delivered it very, very well without being prompted. एक तो prompt on the set is not my cup of tea. वो मतलब पीछे से हाँ डायलॉग बोलूं हाँ वो उधर से आता है डायलॉग ये इधर एक्सप्रेशन खत्म होता है. So he really went with the lines. I mean, there was no way that he was anywhere off the mark.
I was also very particular about sync sound. I wanted sync sound on the set, and so they were all mic'd up, and there was no question of doing a dubbing. So that's why I worked with him to make sure that his lines in line, and finally he didn't forget anything, and I had kind of instilled the fear in him also to say कि इतने सारे सेट पे 35 लोग होंगे वहां पे जब तुम वहां पे जाके अगर भूलोगे लाइन तो तुम्हें जो डांट पड़ने वाली है मुझसे थप्पड़ पड़ेगा तुमको और तुम्हारे बाप से मैं बात कर चुका हूँ वो मेरा छोटे भाई जैसा है अगर मैंने तुम्हारा थप्पड़ मार दिया ना तो वो भी तुमको कुछ नहीं कर सकता ठीक है
नहीं
तो अब
ये
लाइनें याद करो लाइनें याद
I
करो
I have watched the movie. I watched the movie start to end. एंड अगर तुम इसके बारे में बात ना करो आर्या के एक्सपीरियंस का बारे में कैसे वो मिला कैसे तुमने उसको ट्रेन किया वगैरह वगैरह द पीपल हु जस्ट गेट टू वॉच द मूवी इन द थिएटर would see him as a seasoned actor. He has delivered those emotions. He has delivered the lines. जो भी काम किया आर्या तुमने जो काम किया है बहुत ही अच्छा काम किया है ना सिर्फ तुमने जो अपनी लाइनें बोली हैं बहुत अच्छी बोली हैं सही इमोशन से बोली हैं परंतु तुम्हारे फेस में जो एक्सप्रेशंस हैं वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होती है मुझे वो वाला सीन याद है जिसमें वो आंखें बंद करके लास्ट में जब सिलेक्शन का पॉइंट आता है एंड ही मूव्स हिज हैंड टू हिज हेलमेट and closes his eyes to think through कि he has to become दद्दू ने बोला है कि क्रिकेटर बनना है that scene that expressions comes from it's very difficult to even bring from seasoned actors और आर्या ने जो काम किया है आर्या तुमने बेटा बहुत बहुत अच्छा काम किया है अगर श्री नहीं कहे कि तुम एक्टर नहीं हो और तुम्हारे साथ ये चैलेंजेस हुए हैं तो मैं आपको गारंटी दे सकता हूं जो भी कोई मूवी देखेगा ये नहीं कह सकता है कि ये पहली मूवी थी और बिना एक्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस की मूवी थी सो आर्या कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं जो तुमने काम किया है बहुत आगे चलो बहुत आगे बढ़ो और ये जो मुस्कान, ये चुलबुलता जो है, एक सेकंड तुम्हारे पास है और दूसरे समय एक्टिंग में तुम बन जाते हो असलम, इज अमेजिंग। बहुत बहुत मुश्किल काम है वो करना, और तुमने बहुत अच्छे से निभाया उसको।
जैसे ही वो आया करता था रिहर्सल के लिए, मैं इसको बोलता था, बेटा तुम आर्या नहीं हो, अब तुम असलम हो, मैं तुमको असलम ही बोलूंगा, ठीक है? अब तुम असलम असलम असलम, तो बोल बोल के अब वो असलम बन गया फिर वो। एंड
हाँ,
ही हैज डन अ वंडरफुल जॉब, एंड आई
वंडरफुल जब
वाज
उसके ट्रांजिशन रही, बिकॉज उसके जो कैरेक्टर में उसने जो निभाया है, उस कैरेक्टर को जब तुमने एडल्ट में ट्रांसफॉर्म किया, जो कि कहता है कि अब मैं क्रिकेटर हूं, यहाँ जाओ, फाइनल सीन में लिटरली लगता है कि असलम उस कैरेक्टर में जा रहा है। क्योंकि and that was the power of Arya's acting, not the acting of the person who was taking over. It was the baton passing away from
एग्जैक्टली।
childhood to adulthood was so beautifully done. आर्या ने जिस तरह से किया है उस काम को, वो ट्रांजिशन लगा ही नहीं, बहुत इफेक्टिवली वो मूव हुआ है।
हाँ,
और
और वो वैसे ही लिखा था कि वो वैसे ही लिखा था कि मेरे को एक ओल्डर असलम था, एक यंगर असलम था, एंड देयर इज अ टाइम लैग देयर, एंड हाउ व्हाट challenges he faced
या
earlier, and even challenges story wise, there is few elements of the story that bring out some controversy, and those are things that शिशिर जी again said, अगर ये बदल जाएगा, अगर इसको चेंज करना पड़े तो फिर फायदा क्या है करने का? And I
एंड
was told by a few production companies that इसको story को थोड़ा change कर दो, we'll fund it and all that stuff. So I think I stuck to my guns, and I think now the story shows, and the result shows, of course. And even directing Shishir ji was a little bit of a daunting task for me. There were some challenges, and but the good part was whenever we had any difference of opinion, I think he's very gracious to say, okay, चलो ऐसे भी कर लेते हैं, वैसे भी कर लेते हैं. This is your vision, and I want to obviously see it through. And having so many people on the set and new people that I have no idea what their working styles are, and I spent a lot of time. I was there for about a month and a half, working with each of them. But I think they saw the film through. They probably delivered much more than what vision I had for this film.
It's
And
an extremely difficult task to shoot in a country like India, whether it's Mumbai, whether it's Bangalore, whether it's Hyderabad, wherever you shoot. Professionalism does not come so easily here in this country in terms of shooting. There are people who are professionals, there are people who take uh, filmmaking seriously. But yes, unlike the Western world, where there is time and you're time bound, you cannot go beyond. They will not come earlier. If it's a 7 o'clock shift in the morning, they will be there till 7 o'clock in the evening. You cannot even bribe them to stay back there for another 5 minutes. That will not happen. But in India, apparently it happens because everybody seems to be a little kind of ठीक है कर लेंगे आधा घंटा और तो वो
mm,
आधा घंटा और करके ना तो उसमें थोड़ी सी दिक्कतें आ जाती हैं बाद में because then everybody does not take you seriously. You want to be
but I
serious,
think
be on time, you have to leave on time. That's it. Can't go beyond a certain time. After working for 12 hours, if you're going to ask the actors and the technicians, especially the actors, yes, have a great time because they have a vanity van and they go and sit there, chill there, sleep there. It's all AC. But the technicians, I mean, really face the brunt. And to what extent? I mean, it's unbelievable sometimes. If you go to a place like Delhi, there is no time. They shoot from 9 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock in the night. ऐसा वहाँ कोई ये नहीं है कि हम 12 घंटे ही shoot. There are some unions. There are some problems where you have unions, then you have problems. So
but I think that tone has to be set up earlier on, शिशिर जी। जब मैं पहुंच गया था, मैंने उन सबको बोल दिया था कि आई एम ऑन ए वेरी टाइट टाइमलाइन। फिर उसके बाद मेरे को जाना है, आई नीड एडिटेड कॉपी, आई हैव टू टेक द एडिटेड कॉपी, द रफ कट हैज टू बी रेडी। And so I think conveying that to everybody was something that was important to me. And I think everybody kind of knew that कि ये US से आया है, करने के लिए आया है, चलो ठीक है, जितना भी हो सकता है हम फिनिश करेंगे इसको एंड शूट करेंगे. और 5 के 6 दिन हो गए. Total shoot time for us, we shot 5 full days and then one other half day also. So 6 days of 7 to 7 was a challenge and huge learning for me in terms of what I
Yes.
had to do in terms of getting my project line completely and shortlist, and everything was to the T, getting a drone there and whatnot. So there was a lot of things, moving parts, but I think the team did a wonderful job, and I think the product by itself shows that. And I was always a little concerned about what I do and how I do it with these people and how I come across. I don't know how many people are accustomed to that kind of a style of working in India.
Yes, congratulations, Sri. Congratulations, Sangeeta. Congratulations, Arya. आप लोगों के मेहनत, काम, परसिस्टेंस और शिशिर शर्मा जी का आशीर्वाद हमारे कुछ ड्रीम सपने जो प्रोजेक्ट्स थे पूरे हुए. उन्हें सराहा भी गया, उन्हें नाम भी मिला. सो दैट्स अ great start for you, Daddu ji, for Mere Daddu and for Shri on getting that first showing and showing with an award. And
Yes,
Sangeeta
yes.
has been, Yesha Mastani has been awarded few times and have got the recognitions in the past, and we're ready to launch online very soon. So शिशिर जी हमें ब्लेस करते रहिए, इसी तरह से हम कुछ कुछ कहानियां ढूंढते रहें, बनाते रहें, और हम
अब इसके
सबका
लिए पैसा चाहिए, पैसा ब्लेस करने के लिए पैसा.
एकदम 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 एकदम
So
एकदम
I'm so happy,
एकदम.
Sangeeta. I think, and Sri, I think your next project should be a feature film. Of course, it's going to be a daunting task. If you're going to shoot in India,
Yeah,
please think twice. If you're going to shoot in America, you have to
you're
bring me
welcome.
there.
Yeah, exactly. एंड आर्या बेटा, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. मुझे पता है कि आपका लेट नाइट है वहाँ पे, कल स्कूल भी होगा शायद. तो कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस, आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन फॉर द ग्रेट जॉब एंड द स्टेपिंग स्टोन इनटू एक्टर बनने के लिए, और आगे आपकी जर्नी एक्टर की शायद आगे बढ़े, बहुत बड़े. तो इसी के साथ थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस इन आवर सुनो ऑडियो लाइव कास्ट हियर. शिशिर शर्मा जी, thank you so much for joining us. Sacrificing, I'm sure, some part of your World Cup game going on.
I'll watch the highlights tomorrow morning.
Okay. And Shri, thank you so much for
Japan
joining.
was 1-0. Japan was 1-0 last time, so I think
No,
Japan's gonna get
they
that.
equalized just before I got
Oh,
online.
did they? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, Shri,
I have
you
to
missed
go.
that one.
Well, I'm gonna go and catch it.
Thank you so much, Rajiv,
So
for having
you're
us.
welcome, Sangeet. So what's the, sorry, Shishir ji?
Thank you, Aisa. Thank you so much
No,
for.
thank you for
Yes.
joining. So
Thanks a lot.
who you guys are saying is going to win the World Cup? Last prediction.
I am going with Argentina.
France.
France. Yeah, I'm
Seems
going with
like
France too.
likely team to get past anyone, but you never know.
You never know. Yeah. I'm rooting for France too. So let's see. But the world is rooting for Argentina, I know for sure. So Messi will get his thing. So go France or go Argentina. और इसी के साथ thank you so much. Good night, Shishir ji. Good night, Arya, and good afternoon, Sri and Sangeeta. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Shishiji.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Arya.
Bye, Arya. Take care.